So here we are, there's a heater down there. And there's a heater there. And let's check what thermometer up there says. Okay, the thermometer is hard to read. It's bang on 60 up here, 6 feet off the floor. The floor itself is cooled. But on slightly warmer days when it's been above freezing, I've been able to do some little bit of epoxy, some stuff not directly on the hull, but just some shimming. You'll see that places like this, there are shims here all around the edge. There's a shimmed layer there and down there. That's all just to get the ribs. The ribs themselves have shim layers across. Some of the ribs I've built out wider. See how that's built out wider? I've put some foam triangles either side of the rib, and then with PL I glued them, and then I laid up a wider strip across, and that's just those wider ones right there, and right there, and right there, and at the end. Those are the ends of boards, or that's where they overlap, and I just wanted a bigger bonding area for when I lay the plywood down. The plywood will lap over the actual rib, but I wanted extra surface area tied into it, and so that when I put the putty on epoxy, that it just doesn't squeeze out and fall off the rib. I want it to squeeze out and then just make more contact area with the fiberglass back of the boards. And here is one board. This is a small one that goes up in the corner there, or the front to the bow. The back of it, I don't know if you can tell, but the back of it's been glassed. I've also drilled holes, like weep holes, around the edge, so that when I press it into the putty, around the edges of the perimeter, it will, I get some confirmation whether it's really seated in the putty by how much comes back up through the bleed holes. Also, after, I'll go with a syringe and inject down into the holes additional putty to make sure that I'm getting as much contact area as possible. I did put some additional, you see that it looks kind of rough, I have to grind it still, but I put some just little strips of built up of glass around here just to catch the putty. So I have a little shelf to put the putty on when the board goes down. Otherwise it would just squish down the hull and not really bond too much. That's a little extra rib I've added up there. Yeah, so the boards will go across. This is all level. That surface there is level right across here, and level, level, level. Now you see these little posts I've added in the middle. These are little posts just to give a little extra intermediate support. They were PL'd down, and then I did filleting around with putty, and then 2 layers of 1708 and CSM backed 1708 rather on to hold them in place. And they're pretty sturdy. It'd take me quite a bit to bend that over. Okay, I mentioned about triangular foam. There's a piece of triangular foam. Actually, it goes, yeah, that's it, triangular foam. What I did was, you can see the blue through there. I put foam on the sides. There's where foam and foam. I just glued them on the side, and that made up for a wider area on top of the rib. Okay, I'm not really saying too much more right at the moment. My next step is to, I've washed the amine blush off these surfaces that I've shimmed. I just have a little bit more grinding and snagging to do to rough them up, and I will be ready to glue down the floor very soon. We're supposed to have a 9 and 10 Celsius day weekend coming up here on Saturday and Sunday, so we'll see if I can actually get the floor glued down. The actual taping of to the hull and so on, and covering of the floor may have to wait till spring, but we'll see how it goes. Something I've been working on. Foam flotation. There's one piece, and I was going to build it up with some other layers underneath and make sort of like a stack.